Warmly welcome to Mr. Fawaz, mashallah, for this important training. And we know Saudi Aramco, one
Thank
of the
you.
biggest brand in the world in oil and gas industry. So they have certain set of standards, right? Just
Yes.
to maintain their goodwill, and the purpose is they don't want to see any fatalities, basically, any sort of
Mm-hmm.
incident or injuries or any sort of accidents, even at their site. Even if we would be the businessman, inshallah, we will also have the same feeling, right? Because
Yes.
credibility is everything. So just to maintain their business goodwill and credibility and fulfilling some legal requirements, they have developed a lot of standards. Like you talk in Aramco, you just say the name of any material or any process, any activity, any project, any site, even any equipment you talk about, they have standards. Okay? That means
Yeah.
it's a great blessing that we have something in writing to teach us, to guide us, to keep ourselves safe and to the community working around us. That is why they summarize the comprehensive document. We call it CSM, especially to support construction industry because sometimes they are constructing residential compounds. Sometimes a lot of Aramco buildings, construction is going on. Sometimes even at the rig sites or refineries or everywhere Aramco, have some sort of construction processes. Let's take an example of even excavation. So they have, it's a construction process, right?
Yes.
So for any process in the world, what I evaluated through my experience before we discuss Aramco theories, that every process in the world have three different domains, which we truly need to be careful before, during, and after. Before,
Mm-hmm.
during, and after. Either before starting a process, before starting an activity, before starting or before even taking a single step, what are the safety rules? We truly have to be proactive to be fully familiar in. Like we want to drive, it's a process, right? So
Yes.
before starting the driving, what are the safety rules of the government? What are the safety rules from Aramco side? The more knowledgeable we are, I'm sure we'll be more responsible, because we are knowledgeable. We do understand what can go wrong, especially during the process. So on the next stage, if we ignore safety rules and before like starting the process, of course our uh, process itself would be endangered. Either we are driving, we are excavating, crane operation, whatsoever is going on, there are plenty of construction processes, and that's all we can discuss, even like welding, painting, cutting, grinding. Say
Yeah.
there are a lot of hot works, cold works. Some belongs to the land, excavation, digging out, confined spaces, plenty of things. So the more sensitive construction projects are there, more knowledge we required, Mr. Fawaz. That is the challenge actually. And
Yeah.
ultimately the goal is zero accident club to achieve it, to maintain zero accident club. That is the single most important goal. And to claim that goal, is quite easy. If I have a company, I can simply say our company's goal is zero accident. But to achieve this goal,
This is the hard part.
to even to maintain or to ensure sustainability, this is one of the biggest challenge in the world, and that is why the professions like you industries need a lot, because and I like your passion, because your purpose is not just to achieve certification, or that is something, to be very honest, that is the great motivation for me to be your trainer even one to one,
Alhamdulillah.
just because of your kind intention and honest intentions to be the best safety professional. And Mr. Fawaz, safety profession means it's one of the best ibadah in the world, I'm telling you. Because our Quran said, saving one life, saving the whole humanity. So
Yes.
basically, it's one of the noblest job in the world that we are helping people coming from different nationalities, coming from different backgrounds, and we sometimes no education and sometimes no common sense also, because we get different kind of, it's really hard to ensure the right person for the right job. Like we can't ensure everything during hiring process, But now companies started realizing safety should be realized during the recruitment process also. Like you are
Yes.
going to hire a labor worker or a tea boy or a janitor or the general manager.
Mhm.
Forget about engineers. They are definitely have some insights. But what I mean is anybody you are hiring, during the hiring process, you need to make them realize what is your safety policy, why it is important, why your safety is important for us. But what would be your role and what would be our role as an employer? How we will
Right.
be supporting you and how you have to control your safe behaviors all the time to maintain it every day to go back safely to your home, right? So this
Yeah.
is a real challenge, and no doubt it's not an easy field. And I hope, being a practical professional, you might have seen several challenges. It's not easy job, right? If you do
Yes.
it honestly, but if you are just making money and getting your paycheck every month, then those professions also go with zero tension, right? Now,
Yes.
I need to understand you. What is your take on it? That what is the biggest reason of accidents? Still incidents are happening. On the other side, we have millions of safety professionals supporting you.
Yes.
But
Um,
accident graph,
First of all, I want to introduce myself to you. I am an industrial engineer. Um, yeah, I graduated here from a university here in Saudi Arabia. It's called Northern Borders University. After my graduation, I worked as a safety officer in a project which is small, very small project. As a starting, it was helipad project in وعد الشمال power plant project. I think you are familiar with this. Uh, yeah, after this, I worked in different field, which is quality control. Uh, yeah, but I recognize or I know now it's not my field because I don't have that much of civil knowledge, and I need that more to be in quality control department. So I decided to move forward to safety and stay in the safety. And safety is great, and I know in Saudi Arabia it will be a great future for Saudis, inshallah. So yeah, that's why I also wanna work in safety department. And as you said, it's not just for being getting money or salary each month. It's about saving lives. It's about religion. يعني الحمد لله in Islam, as you said, saving one life means like saving everyone. يعني ان شاء الله in this job my goal is not just working for the money. It's working for helping people and helping myself to help them, inshallah. um, this project, it is I will work inshallah with subcontractor or contractor with the Aramco. It's unconventional gas system facilities. Their activities is their or their construction scope is to install well heads, flow lines, transmission lines, trunk lines, and they are working in RTB lines. This is a new I mean new piping piping new piping technology.
brilliant.
Lifting, confined space, painting, welding, and this. So for me, I did not get any course in safety. يعني in specialized in safety. It's just uh, learning by myself. In yeah. this is
Best
it.
learner is the best learner. Trust me, Mr. Fawaz. If your best learner is the
Yeah.
best learner, trust me. You already achieved your 90% your learning objective, mashallah. Because well done is well done. And Allah helps those who help themselves. It's a very
Uh-huh.
straightforward phenomenon from Allah's side also. And that means you put your hard work, you put your all efforts, and then see Allah's blessings, inshallah. And yes, we as a trainer have to be honest also in sharing the knowledge. And I'm sure you'll get plenty of. I'll share all my experience with you.
I am
Last
sure of this because I saw your YouTube channel and I saw your lessons. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, you are doing great in YouTube. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Because there are people they don't need certification, they need knowledge, they need
Yes.
experience to be shared. That is why I
Yes. Yes.
created this channel. Yes. Thank you very much for your appreciation. Yeah, that means you went through our YouTube channel also, right?
Yes, of course.
Hey, so a lot of appreciation I get from America, from UK, from Saudi Arabia, from Dubai. People or across the globe, they
Mashallah.
are appreciating us.
You, you
But
deserve it.
Alhamdulillah.
Wallah,
Because
100%.
money is not everything. You must have a very positive vision of your life, and then Allah will bless you, inshallah.
Yeah.
Because Allah is
Mashallah.
happy, right?
Yes. You're right, 100%.
Thank you very much. So, let's come back with my same question. As per your experience, whichever field you were working for the last how many years,
Mhm.
what is your take on
Yeah.
it? What is the number one cause of accidents as per your experience? Because I told you, still graph sometimes is going up while we have millions of
Allah,
safety
to be honest, I have experience in 2 years. A little accident happened there, so maybe I think shortcuts, shortcuts, and that's what you explained in your YouTube channel also.
years.
Shortcuts. So from my knowledge also it's if we divided the accident reasons, it will be unsafe act or unsafe condition.
True. Excellent, Masha. Absolutely.
Yeah. So these are the most the most reasons, and the most I think it's unsafe act because unsafe condition happens from the unsafe act.
Perfect. And you know what the Saudi Aramco have claimed? The number one cause of accidents or incidents within Saudi Aramco business operations,
Yeah.
not following safety rules and regulations. That's what they, you know. So that means handling or tackling maybe more than 10,000 machines would be quite easier. But handling
Yeah.
1,000 different brains or even 10 different brains,
Yes.
not easy. Because everyone is a unique brand, everybody is different. In one of
Yes.
the project I found, more than 20 nationalities, and the biggest barrier was the communication. If I talk in English, some understand, some don't. If
Oh,
I
this
talk in Arabic, you get my point. So sometimes things are not easy, because of this communication barrier. But I'm
exactly.
lucky that you understand English and you are speaking excellent, mashallah. That's my good luck, by the way. Otherwise,
Alhamdulillah. And
communication barrier would be a
I'm planning also, inshallah, to learn Urdu for this season also, inshallah.
excellent, excellent, mashallah. And
Inshallah.
now, just to be very honest, I already have my learning goal to be the Arabic trainer.
Mashallah.
I'm claiming publicly, but inshallah, I'll try my level best to be the Arabic safety
Inshallah.
trainer as well. Not easy
Inshallah.
goal, but nothing is easy in this life. So at least you put
Yeah.
your goal on and see Allah, Allah will do better for us, inshallah.
Inshallah. Bismillah. Inshallah.
Okay, so Mr. Fawaz, thank you very much, being with me. And one-to-one session always more pleasant for me because you get more time to understand each other and more time to share your experience to each other.
Yes.
Because if we have
Yes,
more
sir.
than 20 participants, so then it wouldn't be that much easy to get, insights of everybody's
Yes, yeah,
opinion or experience, or to give them a time to talk even. But one-to-one is a great opportunity, mashallah.
yes, yeah,
And I'm always
100%.
a
So
learner, Mr.
it's
Fawaz, and I hope we'll be learning from each other, inshallah. Okay.
inshallah, inshallah.
So, this construction safety manual,
Mm-hmm.
it will give you all insights of Saudi Aramco construction safety best practices.
Uh-huh.
I mean, basically, these are the milestones defined, or a kind of a safety goals, rules, regulations are defined by Saudi Aramco. That this is your domain. These are the minimum requirements I'm telling you. It's not maximum.
Yeah,
They always Aramco set minimum safety requirements, and what they expect is at least give respect to these minimum requirements. They're not
yeah,
expecting so much because they know the humans will always play with them,
yeah,
with their safety, with their life. So because they understand psyche of the human being, so they just settled up the minimum requirements for each process, for each area, for each kind of equipment, even site-wise, location-wise, as I discussed earlier. So
yeah,
in that context, of course, we'll be learning, if we are performing any excavation process, what are the safety rules? If we are
yeah,
working in a confined space, what are the safety rules? If we are
yeah.
constructing even a confined space, what could
Mm-hmm.
be the rules? So a lot of things we'll be learning, inshallah, through this CSM. And bear in mind, even after my lectures, still I would encourage you to keep learning. You know,
Inshallah, of course.
Inshallah, because I mean it's a very lengthy subject, and on the other side, since I'll be sharing most important information topic wise, but these informations even is hard to memorize.
Yeah, I'm actually using. I have now notebook. Any thing I need to write, I will inshallah على طول directly I
Per-
will write. Yeah,
Perfect, perfect, mashallah. So it's much better if you can prepare yourself notes also. That's a brilliant idea, Like you get each topic and you see what exact requirements are there, the
exactly.
key points of
Yes,
the topic. Otherwise, nobody even have time to, read all these things and to memorize every
yeah,
word of the CSMS manual. But if you remember, if even we as a trainer sometimes suffers, how much information we can consume, you know. So
exactly.
honestly speaking, it's a challenge for us also. But that, yes,
Yeah,
whenever we face any challenge, we have a reference. What is our reference? CSM manual.
yes,
We go back and check and verify.
yeah, yeah.
So, Mr. Fawaz, it's Salah prayer. So, what's your plan? Shall we, because it's 6:34. So,
No problem for me. If you want after Salah على طول
no,
direct, no
just
problem.
come back after 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll restart. I'm PCS there.
Because now
No
you
need to
are
log
in.
in again.
I think you are in Dammam, right?
Yeah, in October.
In football. So yeah, for us it will be after 1 hour maybe. That's all.
Okay, okay. For you after 1 hour. Okay,
Yeah, because I
then it's
live
okay.
in
Then
the
it's
north.
okay. Then move on. We can discuss several things. Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. So just a moment. Okay, excellent, mashallah. So, it's a 5 days program, you know, as per Saudi Aramco, in other words. But sometimes
Yeah.
people, they will increase hours or they'll increase their self-study time. So they'll request some minimized time, like
Yeah.
sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't agree. But of course, the purpose is to understand the maximum, to consume maximum knowledge. No, it's a 5 days training program, construction safety manual as per Saudi Aramco, and this is the outline basically, and that is our
Great.
challenge, to consume actually. The first, I'm sure you are quite familiar about PPs,
Yeah.
but some special PPs. Have you ever heard the word SCBA?
No, actually.
Okay, so that means few of the things we can definitely discuss and learn. Like the SCABA is there. Okay, self-contained breathing apparatus. Like if we work under H2S environment or under toxic environment, we need special PPEs to wear. These kind of
Yeah.
respiratory equipments, but of course, specially designed, for toxic environments to handle with that. Now, have you ever heard something about isolation, LOTO, and use of wall tags?
Yeah, the lookout and tag out.
Yeah,
Uh,
lockout and
yeah.
tag out. Mhm. And for isolation, lockout, tag out, you know, two words: eliminate, stop, isolate all energies before you
Yeah.
start your repairing, construction, or even your inspection processes. Any project,
Hmm.
especially even if you're going for construction, make sure no energies are coming in front of your processes, whatever you are performing. Like if you are digging out, there is the excavation process. Make sure no electrical energy, no
Hmm.
underground utilities, in other words, and no hazardous materials or pipelines are coming on your way. That's all you need to be careful. And that is why we will discuss, inshallah, in detail what is isolation, lockout, tagout as per Saudi Aramco requirements. And we'll discuss specifically the confined spaces. Sometimes I say we don't need safety professionals if these kind of red zones are not there, you know, because a lot
Yeah.
of restricted areas or prohibited areas or sensitive areas are there. That is why we need specialized safety professionals who can guide every individual in the company. Why, this confined space required a permit before even you decide to go inside. Why the CSM program is important to follow. And Aramco, again, we are blessed with Saudi Aramco. They are guiding us. Otherwise, imagine, Mr. Fawaz, if me and you get a project from
Yeah.
any brand in the world, and they give us a project, okay, Fawaz and Ishtiaq Rana, you are responsible to develop the health and safety and environmental management system for our company. Like, same like Aramco. What do you think? How much money we will charge you?
Yeah.
Imagine how
For
much money we will charge you.
Allah, no idea now, but that will be too much.
Maybe in millions of dollars, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what money already invested by Saudi Aramco just to teach us, just to give us some, knowledge
Yeah.
and making sure that we are safe 8 hours or 12 hours, whatever the shift we are working in. And especially for the sensitive places, they have guided us brilliantly, means confined spaces. And in oil and gas industry, it's already a red zone and a lot of confined spaces like pipelines, you have excavated manholes, several kind of, tanks are there, even
Yeah.
oil rig sites, or you can consider plenty of confined spaces. You have
Yeah.
different kind of storage places, oil storage
Yeah.
tank, gas storage, you have pipelines, underground excavation means deeper than 1.2 meter or 4 feet would also be considered a confined space. So that means
Hmm.
you have to understand the major requirements, and that's all we will be discussing, inshallah. And I'll share some important notes also with you, which will help you further, inshallah. Just for your self study, okay, for each topic.
تمام.
Then we'll be talking about fire prevention. Fire prevention, we all know, it all starts with three elements, oxygen, fuel,
Mhm.
and heat, and required chemical reaction. But in oil and gas industry, this is something entirely different because they're talking about prevention, and prevention is better than cure, right?
Yeah,
Fighting with the
of
fire,
course.
you have a system, you will try your level best, but the fire shouldn't start up. There shouldn't be any chance of fire. That is a
Yeah.
huge challenge.
Yeah.
Protection is still you have a protection system, but how you will prevent, the chances of fire, that is where you need innovation. You need reliability engineers, safety engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, a teamwork, and janitor to general manager, everybody's strong commitment for safety, then you can help each other. Even the housekeeping, think about one element. If you ignore housekeeping only, or your core waste management, or your electrical systems, take different examples. That means the probability of fire will gone up. The chances of fire incident will gone up because of
Yes.
unsafe conditions, right? Like you mentioned earlier. Now, we will also be talking about compressed gas cylinders. That you will see everywhere because whenever there is a welding project or anything, mostly the compressed gas cylinders are in use, and several other processes also have. Hazardous material, mostly we'll be talking about chemicals and what are the best requirements we need to bear in mind before dealing with the chemicals. And then the hand tools and heat swab. Same way, second day there are different topics. Third day,
Okay.
again, there would be different topics. Fourth day, we'll be talking about operations, and
Yeah.
most importantly, the contractor site administrative requirements that would also be discussed. We have a 3 hours assessment exam, but once you are familiar with key requirements of each topic, automatically exam shouldn't be a problem. That's not an issue, by the way, because since you are fully committed for learning, right? So,
Yes.
inshallah. So let's start our day one.
Mhm.
And for the PPs, let me let me see if I can open the presentation in PowerPoint, so it will give you better insight. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we discuss PPs, Mr. Fawaz, I would appreciate if you can mention the list of PPs in your mind. Already you have in your mind. What are
Okay.
the PPs?
Helmet, the hard helmet, the safety glasses,
Uh,
vest, safety shoes, safety gloves, um, air plugs,
mhm.
also harness,
Okay.
um, um, SDBA, which is for working in a gas system. And these are I think these are my.
Okay, so have you ever heard, that every process, the same PPs we can't use? Take an example of gloves, the job specific
Yeah.
PPs. And have you ever heard
Uh,
word vibrating gloves,
especially for the gloves, there are different types depending on the activity or the job you are doing.
okay.
Yeah. So for like rubber gloves, we are using for electrical works. Will be also the chemical resistance gloves, the heat also heat resistance gloves,
Mhm.
and high voltage gloves. It depends on the job.
Okay, so for this one, just two more things I need to discuss with you. That is the air purification respirators. You know, like if you're working in a toxic environment, what is air purification or purified kind of self-contained breathing apparatus or supplied air breathing apparatus or advanced air breathing apparatus, but how they look like, definitely I will share. That's why I want to open that presentation. So it will give you a direct insight how they look like. Even I'll try to share some videos also that will give you further, inshallah, understanding about it. Just 1 minute because this is comes under. So I will share this Word file with you just as an outline. How to identify the hazards belong to the PPs. But as per Saudi Aramco requirements,
Mhm.
when we talk about Saudi Aramco, that means the first single most respectable standards are Saudi Aramco standards.
Yeah.
Then we will talk somebody else standard. Might be some global standards like ILO, WHO, ISO. We have NFPA. We have OSHA regulations. We have
Yes.
UK. We have plenty of other regulatory bodies, but But when we work for Aramco, first responsible part is to make sure that we understand their safety requirements. Like if we talk about PPs, what are the hazards? Imagine if you have helmet, but they are not wearing. So quite simple, right? It's a hazard.
Yeah.
Metal helmets, as per Saudi Aramco, are not acceptable.
Yes.
Can't use metal helmets. Damaged helmets are not allowed. Helmets with peak at the back, of course, that's another.
Yeah.
Expiry date is important. You have to be familiar. Everything have an expiry date, and we call it shelf life also, Mr. Fawaz. We call it shelf life. Like I purchased, no, you are the manufacturer of these helmets, and
Yeah.
as per your material formula and the manufacturing standards, you told us the age of, as per the laboratory testing also, the age of this helmet is for maybe 6 months or for 1 year.
Yeah.
And imagine if our guys are using for the last 3 years or for the last 5 years, same helmet, while it was designed for 1 year maximum. I'm just
Yes.
giving an example. So that means of second year, third year, even this helmet will become a hazard. Anything fall down, any hammer, anything, any tool from working at height, God forbid, it will demolish because it will break because the material has already became brittle or weakened or that is why we need to understand the importance of expiry date of everything, okay, especially the PPs. Now, what are the controls? If once you are capable as a safety engineer or as a safety professional, this is the single most important quality that you are a keen observer. You can easily identify the hazards and risks in your workplaces, wherever you are visiting, any site, any refinery unit, or any rig site, you are capable to identify the hazard. Now, what are the controls as per Aramco? What they mention is make sure the helmets are approved helmets only. No defects, metal helmets are prohibited. Ensure internal harness installed correctly. The internal harness, there is a belt inside. You just tied
Yeah.
it. We call it internal harness, and that should also be working properly. Same way for the footwear. Some hazards are there. Not wearing, no slip, no old and damaged footwear, no heel for climbing ladders, no toe protection. Same way the controls we need to understand. No sandals. And provide footwear based on the job hazard. Same
Yeah.
foot can't be used everywhere. Workers to wear only approved safety footwear. Now, the
Yeah.
approved safety footwear means that Aramco have approved all the vendors who have already approved, say as per ANC or NC requirements or as per CE mark or something like that. Already the international codes are well followed by the manufacturer. Like if you go to 3M, it's a company. Either I should not mention, by the way, the name of the brand, but still, if you go to them, they will be following Aramco standards for sure, because
Yes.
they are supplying to Aramco contractors, even directly to Aramco, Saudi Aramco. For sure. Now, replace it, worn or damaged, and same way footwear has a heel if climbing ladder. Now, eye and face protection. Failure to wear eye and face protection, incorrect protection, these are the hazard, damage protection, or use prescription lenses only. Look at the picture, and one picture
Yeah.
is more, better than maybe 1,000 words even. So just no scratches, no damage, nothing, and make sure.
This is actually a big challenge because most of people not wearing safety glasses.
Absolutely right. Now, what are the controls? Make sure you wear only approved eyewear with sight protection. Mr.
Yes.
Kumar, why they mention sight protection? What's the benefit of that? Why not simple glasses like this? Why sight protection is needed?
Maybe flying a flying object. So yeah, that's why.
But the sand,
Protect.
environmental hazards are also there. Sometimes the
Yeah.
sand is coming, so plenty of other, even sometimes toxic elements like any spillage or any fumes are there. Of course, you can
Yes.
protect your eyes from there. Same way, for flying objects, we need to use goggles, face shield. Always check CHP. Any idea you have what is CHP? Have you ever heard this CHP? What is
CHP. Actually, no.
So, chemical hazard bulletin. Have you ever
Yeah.
heard the word MSDS? Material Safety Data Sheet. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. Yes.
MSDS, Material Safety Data Sheet. That means every chemical there is a material safety data sheet, which is gonna
Yes.
tell the composition of this chemical, the first aid, the firefighting, and
Yeah.
also PPs we need to use, the hazards, some preventive measures, the storage requirements. Like 16 sections gonna be there for that particular one chemical. So in that way,
Yes.
of course, we need to understand. And but rather than giving these 16 sections of MSDS lengthy one, and out of my 3,000 training sessions, rarely I found any person, who mentioned that I have studied all 16 sections for every sort of chemical we are using MSDS in our company. Nobody have time. But
Yeah.
if you see CHB of Saudi Aramco, that is Chemical Hazard Bulletin. This is
Mhm.
you can claim is a summary of that MSDS. You will get a quick snapshot and it can be displayed on notice boards also. Quite
Yeah.
visible document and easy to understand. What is the composition, what are the hazards, what first aid measure we need to take, what firefighting equipment we require to if and why eye washer is needed. Everything will be mentioned on this CHB
Yeah.
just on one page, only one page.
Yeah.
Now we have another FRC. We call it fire resistant cloth. Like not one practice, a hazard, fire, welding, sparks, electrical arc flash, older cold substance. And what controls we need? Fire prevention, which is another separate subject for us. FRC worn correctly and wash and clean correctly. So there are a lot of GIs in Aramco. We call it general instructions. A lot
Yes.
of GIs. But if we want to study further about a particular area or process, like arc flash mitigation PPs, then GI 2.721. That
Yeah.
must be taken from Saudi Aramco and we can study more. Or it should be provided by your safety manager. Or if you are the safety manager, you have fully empowerment to ask Saudi Aramco to please share all your GIs relevant to my company, relevant to my project. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes we are scared and we don't ask help from Saudi Aramco officials. I don't know why. While they are there to support you as a customer, but people are very much reluctant. They hesitate. They have a scary, kind of a fearful behavior, which
Yeah.
actually, because I delivered a lot of training sessions directly to Saudi Aramco officials, and I understood their psyche. They are very, very polite and very good people. Only we
Yeah.
don't talk to them. So the problem is with us actually, not with them. So otherwise, they could have not be a global brand. Because a bad attitude, of course, will destroy your company, your brand.
Yeah. Of course.
So they are so nice, mashallah. But unfortunately, mostly people they just try to run away. Like even a Saudi Aramco auditors are coming or loss prevention division team is coming, they will just try to hide here and there themselves.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
learning from them, they'll be running away from them. So this
Ah,
kind of gap should also be discouraged, by the way. And we need to motivate people. Please get help. If you don't have knowledge, ask.
yes.
If you're
Yeah.
not, sometimes I say, Mr. Fawaz, don't do anything you are not trained for and you're not authorized for.
Yeah.
But you must have a daring behavior to ask. Ask for help that I
Mm.
don't have any knowledge about this. Be honest with your statements. And then there
Yes.
are people, they will definitely helping you, inshallah. Same way the earplugs also have some hazards, as per Saudi Aramco theories. High noise areas are there. So this is a hazard. Failure to wear. Now you'll be surprised, because I'm a safety auditor also. So different companies I visit. Sometimes I get earplug here, Mr. Fawaz,
Yeah.
inside, the outside, just to
Yeah.
show us that I have the earplug. And sometimes not inside, this way, even within within the ear, but not on the right spot. And sometimes
What's the benefit then?
show you that they are wearing earplug, but in fact they're not using. And I
Yeah.
plenty of cases, especially in manufacturing industry. Whenever we go audit to them, mostly they don't understand the importance actually. So basically, as a leader, this is our failure. Why we couldn't change their behavior.
Yeah.
As a leader, first of all, our fault, right, Mr. Fawaz?
Yes, of course.
We blame them. What we have done for their awareness, for their motivation.
Yeah.
We're gonna convince them. Please, this PP is not only for the auditors. It's for you.
Yeah. Yes.
Not just show to the auditors. You know.
Yeah. If you show them what are the injuries or what happened because of people not wearing the earplugs.
Yeah, the first of all, it's a very interesting question, Mr. Fawaz. First of all, a lot of psychological impacts, and most important impact, you start getting angry without any reason. Your BP
Yes.
shoot up, and you have no idea that automatically your psyche has changed, your nature has changed actually,
Yes.
and most importantly, you became deaf. You know, because gradually like the legal limit for the noise level is 85 decibel. So
Yeah.
above than 85 decibel, it start damaging your hearing, potential also. And at time
Yeah.
you became deaf, now you are more in danger because machinery noise is already there, and now you also became deaf. So any crane is coming, any forklift is coming,
Yeah.
because you became deaf,
You
and
cannot hear.
a lot of incident could happen because of that one. And most importantly, is illegal also. You know how,
Mhm.
if somebody go to the court, Mr. Fawaz, and he claimed he filed a case against your company that because of your company operations, because of your company's noisy operations, he became deaf. No, no, this case, oh my God, if you don't have evidences that you provided the appropriate earplugs, appropriate,
Uh,
why I use this word? Because if noise level is 95 decibel, legal limit is 85 decibel, and the
yeah.
earplug you provided can only reduce 5 decibel, still not sufficient.
Yes.
Because noise level is 95 decibel, and you are providing a earplug can reduce the impact 5 decibel only. That means it's not sufficient. And proving the behavior of the employees who inspect, every day, and who keeps the pictures record, and who keeps the issuance record, that every day how many times we issued them the earplug. Usually they take from, different sources, and you have no record. As an auditor, even I evaluated several times, and I motivated them. You have no idea how much even a minor, every sort of document I record, how much it is important, especially in the court, to prove your case, to win your case.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes you will observe over documentation. The companies who understand the value of documentation, they will
Yeah.
definitely, they will not go with oral things. They always need an evidence. And this VAT system in Saudi Arabia, as per 2030 vision, the real purpose is not to gain tax from the businesses. The real purpose is to create a documented economy, Mr. Fawaz.
Yeah.
Because undocumented economy, you don't know how much money is going here and there. Because
Yes.
and who is making how much money? Like he have maybe a small company with 2, 3 guys, and he's making millions of Saudi riyal, and system doesn't know. You know.
That's right.
So under that, of course, every business is bound to report what he purchased and what he sold, and then have to claim that VAT in the government system, file back. We call it VAT returns every 3 months or quarterly, in other words. So you
Yeah.
can't run away. Why?
Yeah.
No, you got the point. Why these PPs are important, Basically, it saves your business also,
Yes.
not only to the employees. It's,
Yeah.
it's
But
a
I think also just providing the PPEs is not enough. You need to train people also why they need to wear the PPEs to be in the safe side also.
true. Absolutely right. Even, sometimes we are the killers. We give them earplug and we tell them come back after 1 week. Now this earplug every day, the dirty earplug, how many times they're wearing? And if a humidity, like today, nowadays there are tubas there, and you are telling them, wear it again and again, and you are in construction industry, in other words. So imagine, how these germs and the contamination, God forbid, terrible germs contamination, how it could spread several diseases.
Yeah.
That can damage their health. Plenty of issues are there. That is why there are Ministry of Health. Like in Saudi Arabia, we have different ministries. So under Ministry of Health, a lot of knowledge we can get. You know, what what are their recommendation to be healthy in
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia? They are helping us. But who have time to study all this? That is all required. Your interest, your passion for learning. Then of course you will be digging out more information. But anyway, Mr. Fawaz, thank you very much. It was a wonderful question, mashallah. So that's why I put more time to explain it.
Thank you.
Now, hearing protection, we need some controls. As I told, the wear protection above 85 decibel and check with environmental protection division. Aramco have several divisions. They have LPD, Loss Prevention Division. They have EPD, Environmental Protection Division. They have PID, Project Inspection Division. They have PMT, Project Management. I hope you got the point.
Yeah.
So they have
Yes.
FPD, even Fire Protection Division. So plenty of divisions are there. So one of the division is EPD, Environmental Protection Division, and from that we can check all requirements. Correct type, noise reduction provided, audiometry test, even good hand hygiene when installing.
Yeah.
This hand hygiene, you are industrialist, industrial hygienist, mashallah, and you understand the value of hygiene. And this COVID-19
Yeah.
is demolished. It's spread up rapidly because nobody is addicted to wash hands after every touch. You are touching to the table, wash your hands. Your handshaking must be avoided, but still, if you shake up, wash your hand. But you spread up the germs. So,
Yeah.
COVID, one biological hazard, one virus, the entire world is shredded up. And how many businesses are already collapsed? And how much money even Saudi Arabia have invested,
Yeah.
spent just to handle this bloody small virus.
Subhanallah.
And again, we are blessed that we have a strong commitment from Saudi Arabian government side. Imagine, God forbid, if they're not committed, free of
Yeah.
cost test, free of cost, the treatment,
Yeah.
not easy. And also
Yes.
giving a lot of money to WHO as a donation, helping to the entire world actually.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
So this is, how sometimes you are a role model, mashallah. Now, so we have gloves. We discussed already, but still not
Yeah.
wearing protection in correct, glove for the job. Injuries such as cuts, bruises, burns, infection,
Yes.
and also wear hand protection suitable to your job. Check with
Yeah.
CHP because CHP chemical hazard bulletin.
Yes.
Each chemical you must see which chemical or which material you are going to touch. So what type of
Yeah.
gloves are required? Now, replace gloves if worn. These are the common. Sometimes it says safety is a common sense.
Yes. Of
But
course.
for us, the issue is sometimes people don't want to use even their common sense.
Yeah, because they want to finish the job as soon
as
as
quickly as possible. Yeah. Even company want to save a lot of money, putting
yes,
pressures to take shortcuts. And also customers. Sometimes customers are the reason, they have a penalty clause. You agree,
yeah,
you signed an agreement, project agreement, and they will put a penalty clause. Project deadlines. After that deadline, this is the fine penalty.
yes,
And that is
that's
another hammer. Every day punching your mind. Delay in project, I'll be penalized. I'll have some fine. So to avoid from this fine policy, you take a lot of shortcuts. And mashallah. But in construction, we are more in danger, by the way. Because in construction
yes,
industry, even in oil and gas industry, taking shortcuts means hard to get second chance. Right?
yes.
And every time you can't be lucky.
And also, it is a big challenge because there are more يعني pressure from the construction department to finish the job. Also, they want to more protection. So, safety. If they are not following the safety, they just want to do the job without there's safety in this job or not. So this is the problem.
True, true, mashallah. You truly understand. That's your experience, mashallah. Because you need to understand what type of psyche you are dealing, what type of brains you are dealing. And
Yes,
that means not only the safety knowledge, you must know how emotionally intelligent you have to be as a safety leader.
yes,
What type of decision making powers you must have. How to
yeah,
what type of convincing or motivational powers you require to handle different minds. To convince
yeah,
them that safety is important. To
yes.
convince them to report you on time for any injuries, for any unsafe acts, or any unsafe conditions.
Yeah, we are in the same
Reporting
team.
on
We
time.
are not. Yeah, we all want to do the job to finish, but it's finished safely, not just
Exactly.
finish the.
Not by killing people. Yes,
Yeah,
I totally. Because money
yeah,
is not everything. I mean, let's take an example. One Makkah incident, this tower crane.
that, yes, subhanallah.
Directly or indirectly, 35,000 employees were affected. Anybody analyze that one? 35,000. Because a lot of industries were serving to that particular brand. I don't want to use the name actually because we should not demolish the goodwill of any brand actually. But
Even as us, I was a student when that happened.
okay,
That com that company who did the mistake, even for us now, when we graduate, it will be harder for getting a job or something because the
but
project
there's
now
something.
is called more control.
Even the trust is broken. The
Yeah,
trust is broken between
yes,
the government and that brand.
exactly.
And the issue, Mr. Fawaz, once trust is broken, you can't get it back.
I mean, that's why they want more protection. They want more to finish as soon as possible. But look,
Yeah.
the full company got down.
And the issue is after accidents, we start realizing
Yeah.
while we have to be proactive, before something happens, play your role. That is why safety starts from the word we call risk assessment.
Yes.
you know, the risk
Before risk assessment, I think safety first. This is the first thought.
realization. Safety realization. Like because you signed a safety policy, but
Yeah.
nobody knows what is signed. What is safety policy? What is the purpose? What is the value? Even in the audit is very interesting. Topic we just started up. Safety policy during the audits, especially when I went to the GM mostly or the
Yeah.
managing director of that company, and I asked them, "Have you ever studied what have you signed in the policy?" Well, like Murphy time. you know, our safety manager, he knows everything about safety policy. No, it's not everybody should be familiar. This is what standard says. So then I will put a kind of NCR or observation that
Yeah.
safety policy is available, signed, Okay,
Yeah.
but even communicated through notice boards and emails and website, but nobody understands. Not understood by the employees. What is the value? What is the purpose? What is written inside the policy? Why it's a commitment? It's kind of a framework. It's kind of a promise, that you have promised with the all interested parties, including government, your customers, your employees, your visitors, your suppliers. You are telling them that you are a responsible brand and you'll take care of them.
Yeah.
It's a commitment, it's a promise, it's a framework, right? But
Yes.
unfortunately, nobody give induction only for safety policy. They would
Yeah.
have plenty of topics, but the real commitment is missed to highlight, to make them realize why we
Yeah.
generated that policy, which is already shared, with all the interested parties. Okay, Mr. Fawaz, really I'm enjoying, because we are learning from each other, mashallah.
Me too, wallah.
Alhamdulillah. So now the next we have a respiratory protection equipment, RP.
Yeah.
Several hazards are there as per Saudi Aramco, like inhalation, breathing in,
Yes.
or hazardous dust, mist, or vapor, toxic gas such as H2S, hydrogen sulfide gas, in other words, or carbon
Yes.
monoxide. These are the
Yes.
toxic. And look at the gentleman. If there is a
Yeah.
toxic environment, of course you have to be, because your safety, your responsibility, first of all.
Yes.
All other departments, all other gentlemen, they can only support you. You know, they can advise you,
Yeah.
they can provide you some resources, but ultimately, your safety, your responsibility.
Yes.
So then asbestos fibers, this is another a strong reason of lung cancer also. Incorrect
Hmm.
selection, like poor face seal and poor, protection features exceeded. Now, what are the controls? Make sure we have a authorized gas tester.
Yeah.
Sometimes gas tester, they will not do any gas testing. What they believe is, oh, for the last 1 month, nothing has happened. Same place, same project,
Oh.
nothing is happening. Why gas testing every time?
Oh.
Why gas testing every time? Why gas testing after every 2 hours as per Saudi Aramco requirement? Why we need gas testing before every entry? So this behavior,
Yeah.
how can they be lucky every time? That is why still incidents are happening, Mr. Faraz.
Yeah.
Like you are digging out, you are playing with the nature, you are excavating, you are creating a trench, or you have
Yeah.
a pipeline and underground pipeline you want to dig out
Yes.
excavation,
In both.
and you don't have any brain what is coming outside the nature. Nature can fight back. Maybe H2,
Yeah.
maybe carbon monoxide, maybe other ammonia, maybe some other toxic acid, maybe lack of oxygen, the real need of human beings to breathe in. No oxygen means no life.
Yes.
And all would be familiar through gas tester. But what
And it will be also too late to control the engine. Yeah.
that is why I started one of the research. We call it safety through artificial intelligence in 2050. Like 2050.
Yeah.
What would happen?
Yes.
How we'll be controlling safety of every area? Nobody knows.
Subhanallah.
Like
Interesting.
Saudi Arabia, they control traffic. Through technology and putting a lot of fine also. But still,
Yeah.
they can see what is inside, sometime in your hand also. You just
Yeah.
like this, and violation is there. And
Yeah.
you are surprised how come violation is there. Not in front of the camera. No, no, no. You can't even think what level of technology they have. They can watch you from any side.
It is actually very, very interesting topic. It's how the future of safety will be in construction field or on oil and gas. It's
Not
very, very, very interesting.
It's an interesting topic. That is why I started research on it, and might be a time will come. I'll write a book on it.
MashaAllah.
Let's see. You just put your efforts. The rest is all in Allah's hand. It's all Allah's blessing. So inshallah, we'll see how we move on. Now, the gas sampling, that is the control.
Yeah.
So take the gas sampling and see what is going on, and wear the correct RP. We call it respiratory protective equipment. In Aramco, a lot of abbreviations are there, Mr. Frost.
Yeah.
Like I told you, like RP, then SCBA, then SABA, then we have NORM, natural radio. Then we have GFCI. So plenty of abbreviations are there.
Yeah.
That's also might be. I'll share one file for abbreviation. Okay. I'll keep you updated through WhatsApp. Now, if unsure, check with EPD and same way follow good hygiene practices. Ensure RP is clean. This is the self-contained breathing. Might be you can take a screenshot or because these are the licensed material. So we are not authorized to share with the trainees. But the PDF format, all I'll share inshallah. Okay.
Self-contained breathing.
You want to go inside a confined space.
Yeah.
Wear it, especially for certain conditions.
We have to use the SCBA if we have H2S, for example, right?
Huh?
If we have in the gas test, we have H2S or the oxygen is more than.
We will discuss like H2S above than 10 ppm or 10 ppm we have to use. Carbon monoxide, like above than 35 ppm we have to use. Lack of oxygen as per OSHA 19.5%, less than, or as per Aramco 20%.
We have to use this.
We have to, there are same way LEL, okay?
Yeah.
Like 10 or above. Of course, we have to use the scubba, but scubba will be used only for 20-25 minutes, or might be it designed for 35 minutes, the gas inside or the oxygen inside, or we call it diluted air also. But does not mean that you have to use, because you have to come back. You are going inside, now you need time to come back. So you use only probably the 75% maximum, and then you come back. But these are for short-term jobs, like the temporary jobs, for small time, like for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, for site inspection, for gas testing sometime for cleaning purpose, sometime for, just performing different activities, but not more than that. Above then, like this scubba is designed for 35 minutes, and imagine if even you use for 35 minutes, still is dangerous. Because you don't have time to come back, and it's all over.
Yeah.
And also the seal, and no beard, no mustache, no gaps actually.
Yes.
That means we need to maintain also, and then we have supply day, like long job. We have 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours job. So we have continuous supply. But as per Saudi Aramco, we can't stay in confined space more than 2 hours. After 2 hours, you have to come out and again gas testing. Then you move on again. This is interesting to say. Okay. Supply day, getting a practice. We call it Saba. We have Staba, we have Saba.
Yeah.
Now, how it looks like, let me share the sound if you need that one, so I can share, shared sound.
The Scott Airpack Model 50 2.2 is a self-contained breathing apparatus, often abbreviated as SCBA. Self-contained